In this movie, we look at applying our padding to our project. Now we're going to have a number of different things we will want to apply our padding to with our project. And there is one element that we need to add in before we can successfully complete this movie. So let's go ahead and jump over to our HTML, and we're going to need to add in another division here for our main content. So we have our sidebar, but we also have our main content. And the main content starts with the news. So I'm going to create some space here, and I'll throw in my div tag with the ID equal to content. And then I'll jump down to the bottom here. Right after the tutorials is where I will stop my content section. So there we go. Now I've modified my HTML. I'll go ahead and save that and then jump back over into my CSS page where I will start to set up our padding. I'll go ahead and jump up here towards the top. Now the first thing I want to do, just like what we did with our sizing of text, setting the font size to 1M for our H1s through H6s, our div and our p tag, so I want to go ahead and set the padding here for all of those to 0. Effectively, this is going to remove all padding from all of our elements, and I'll go ahead and save that. And whenever I take a look at my browser here, just by refreshing, I'm not going to see a whole lot of difference here because a lot of our div tags don't have any padding by default. Now if you notice, we have some space over here to the left-hand side and at the top, and that's actually controlled by our margin. So we'll take care of that in an upcoming movie. Now let's go ahead and work our way down the page, adding padding to the different elements that we encounter. So first, let's start with our header. So I'll jump down to my header, and I'm going to put in padding of 10 pixels. And I'll save and refresh, and I'll see the padding show up here. Next, I want to affect the H2 in our header, and I just want to set the padding left to 15 pixels. So I'll go ahead and save that and then take a look at that. And we'll see that it does indeed jump over a bit. Next, we have our news. So I'll go ahead and move on down to the news. And we want to target something pretty specific here. And it's going to be based off of this. And really the reason I'm doing this is because I want to make use of one of the selectors we talked about, which is the sibling selector. So this is going to get the paragraphs that are siblings to H2s inside of the news section. And I'm going to set the padding here to 10px. And then I'm going to set the padding left to 2M. So what you're seeing here is I'm using the shorthand for padding and then overriding the left side with this 2M. So go ahead and save that and then jump back in here and scroll on down to the news section. And I'll see my news, and then I refresh and I see how that paragraph after the H2 just jumps over to the side like that. Next, I'll go ahead and set up the tutorials here. So the tutorials block needs to have a padding of 10px. I'll go ahead and save that. Jump over here and refresh. And we'll see that we did indeed gain 10 pixels. I'm going to go ahead and jump back up here to the top where I'm going to add in a rule for our H4s. So with H4, I'm going to do padding left and set that to half of an M. And go ahead and save that. And jump over here and scroll down a little bit. And when I refresh, we will see the titles of the tutorials jumping over a little bit. Now that concludes this first part of adding in our padding to our project.